Hello and welcome to Cereal at Midnight. My name is Heath and we are talking about Primal, the complete second season. This is an incredible animated series. I cannot speak highly enough about it. If you aren't familiar with Primal, we talked about the first season when it was released on Blu-ray, whenever that was. I think it was more than a year ago, but I adore this show and it is very adult. It is not for kids. And sometimes I don't mean that like, oh, it's like PG-13. Like, this is not for children. This is about life and death. This is absolutely brutal stuff. And it's heartbreaking, and it's triumphant, and it's everything. When the first season came out, so I watched it, and then I was telling my wife about it. I was like, it's just a caveman and a dinosaur. But it's amazing. And she was like, I don't know that I'm really interested in that. I was like, just watch one episode. So then I got her hooked on the show because it's just really powerful storytelling. And by the way, it comes from Genndy Tartakovsky. This is Genndy Tartakovsky's Primal, Emmy Award winning Primal. Genndy Tartakovsky from Samurai Jack, from the Clone Wars, the Star Wars, the Clone Wars, that, the original micro series of the Clone Wars that came on Cartoon Network between episode 2 and episode 3 of the prequel trilogy. And then George Lucas decided he wanted to do his own Clone Wars kind of a thing. And he's like, well, that didn't happen. It went away. Like they shelved it. Like, it got very hard to find and see for a long time. Now it's back out because you don't put Genndy Tartakovsky on the shelf. Nobody puts Baby in a corner, and nobody puts Tartakovsky on a shelf. So this has just arrived on Blu-ray from Warner Brothers Home Entertainment in association with Adult Swim and with Cartoon Network. And I just love it. It makes me uncomfortable. It makes me happy. It makes me sad. It makes me feel things that I am not used to feeling with animation. And there's something that's just really classic about it. Caveman and dinosaur, that's the elevator pitch. But it is deeply, deeply human. And that's not always a good thing because humanity is violent and destructive. And that's one of the themes too. There's an episode about that. And I don't know, the visual storytelling, it's not just visual. But see, the thing is, there's really no dialogue for a lot of the show. There is an episode where they do something you don't expect them to do. And I'm not going to talk about that because I want you to see that for yourself. But it's largely silent, or it's not silent, it's wordless, right? He's a caveman, grunting, yelling, screaming, things like that, but there's no, it's not built around these dialogue moments. So in that sense, it is very, very visual, but it's also highly cinematic. It could only exist in animation. I hope that nobody ever tries to do a live action version of this. You could in an era of CGI, but why would you do that with Samurai Jack? It is the purest form of what it is right now. It's not going to get better. That's why we love it, because of how it looks. It's so stylized. It's so beautiful. For some reason, this reminds me of the artwork of Joe Kubert. If you're familiar with comics, Joe Kubert is in the 60s and in the 70s, there were tons of jungle comics and like caveman comics. We even saw this, Space Ghost, the original Space Ghost cartoon, not Coast to Coast, Space Ghost in the 60s. They would have it'd be like an 8-minute Space Ghost story, and then there was an 8-minute story about a boy trapped in the jungle, like in a prehistoric jungle. Very, very similar to this, and that goes back to the 60s. So there's something very classic about this. And I don't know, I think I'm raving here, and that's not my intention to just rave, but I really want people who are like, I don't know, you gotta check it out. You've got to check it out. So this is the second season. They've changed packaging styles. So this was season 1, which has a slipcase kind of a deal, right? So side loading slipcase with a sealed top and bottom. Well, they've already changed it with season 2. So this is season 2, and this just pops right out of here. So I don't know why they did that. And it's exclusive special features, plural. Well, there's one. There's a 13-minute making of, what do they call it? They call it Genndy Tartakovsky's Primal Inside the Evolution. And it's substantial. It's 13 minutes, but they cover a lot of stuff. They show you how the music is done. They show you how the animation is done, taking you one step at a time through the process, talking to Tartakovsky, talking to the voice actor of the main character, talking to, story people, script people, music people. I think it's pretty good for what it is. But it says, so that's all that's there. It says, warning, uncensored. Special features contain mature themes and vulgar and sexually explicit language that may not be suitable. I don't know what they're talking about. I watched the special feature. I don't see any of that. There's certainly no language. They show a clip of one of the episodes that's kind of bloody because there's a body count to this show. Again, not for children. Do not show Primal to your kids if they're under like 12 because you're gonna be answering for that. You're gonna have questions. You're gonna be staying up in the middle of the night with them. I don't know what they're talking about, but they're uncensored. You know, the episodes are uncensored. They're very violent, very violent, sad violence, not happy violence, sad violence. But that's what you get, and that's it. There's no digital code. There's no commentaries. I don't see anything like that. So. But it's all 10 episodes from the second season, and it's an amazing show. I don't think Rick and Morty is adult animation. That's not what I'm talking about. That's like teenage-friendly animation. This is like made by grown-ups who have dealt with loss and dealt with pain and there's a lot here that is just really, really beautiful and really resonant with what I want from stories. So. It's crazy that it's coming in the form of a story about a caveman and a dinosaur, but I'll take it. So thank you guys so much. Continue the conversation in the comments below. Till next time, I will catch you later.